I am looking for Givas. I am your Givas. Is the moon outside? Okay, making sure that I'm using the word Givas correctly. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the UltraQuest podcast here on the Morphin Network. I'm Mike. That's Exo, and we are here to discuss Ultraman Arc, episode 12. You are Givas. And yeah, part two of our two-part. I mean, it's kind of obvious that it's the mid-season finale.
Yeah,
because it's like, given the way things played out in both Rube and let's be honest, and in what's it called, Ginga, and in Blazar, usually 12 is the mid-season, 25 is the finale. Although in the case of Ginga, it's like, no, we're just going to make it two separate seasons because why not? Which part of me has been contemplating in the chance that we end up doing Ginga. Like, how am I going to play out the thumbnails? Because, as you guys know, I always make a slideshow when we complete an entire season. So it's kind of weird if I do a slideshow that has only 3 thumbnails.
true.
It's like, imagine let's assume for a moment that we use the Tiga theme song for the first season of Ginga just because it's the only theme song that's in my head easily. Imagine it's like, come on, baby Tiga, take me, and then we're done. Yeah, it's like really like, so we're gonna have to combine 2 seasons into one clip show. So that's the way we're gonna do those 2 seasons, because again, 3 segments done with the season, 4 more segments done with the season. If there's a mid-season movie, okay, let's do it. But it would still be 4 and 4. So I don't know what's going on movie-wise with Ginga. I just know that it's like, halfway in, it'll be 2 separate seasons instead of just one 25-episode season. Anywho, but yeah, mid-season finale. So where we last left off, Giant Robot says, I am your Givas. And of course, because of some kind of moon to human translator, Givas can mean enemy. So I am looking for enemy. I am your enemy. Oh, he's our enemy. Well, I guess the GDF is gonna have to fire some rockets at this dude.
Mm-hmm.
But he saved some kids. What are you talking about? Look, man, he says we're his enemies. Like, what can you do?
Or is it?
Yeah, like when you saw the ending of the previous episode, which you weren't here for, but like you still watched it. How did you think that this episode would play out?
I honestly just waited until I saw both episodes today. So, yeah, aside from being sick, I was also kind of busy. So I finally had the time to watch both of them. So I just figured, just watch part 1 and then, all right, we're ending right here. So let's see where it goes.
Okay. That's interesting. So were any of your predictions between parts 1 and 2 fulfilled in part 2?
Any predictions?
Like as you watch the end credits of part 1, like surely you're thinking, oh, I think this is gonna happen. I think that's gonna happen.
I kind of figured like the whole, I am your Givas thing, it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah, I figured the same thing too. Like, it's like, oh, maybe we used the wrong moon language. Like, it's not supposed to be this moon language. It's supposed to be that moon language. Like if you translate between Portuguese versus Espanol, like two words might sound similar, but actually mean completely different things. Actually, you know what's really interesting? The Russian word yama and the Japanese word yama, they are phonetically identical, but mean complete opposites of each other. Because in Russian, yama means hole or pit, but in Japanese, yama means mountain. So
Interesting.
So imagine like you're trying to translate something that someone from Hokkaido said, and they use the word Yama, and it's like, wait, is it a Japanese person from Hokkaido or a Russian person from Hokkaido? Because those are two different things. Yeah. So, hey, we get a return of a favorite character. We get that bird dude from Crash and the Creeps. I'm just kidding. It's from that old bathhouse that we saw in episode 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, what a fun character he was. I was ready to go like, good times. And he's like, oh, by the way, I know you're relaxing right now, but it's Ishiro who told me to come here. Wait, Ishiro? Yeah, Ishiro. What? But he's a jerk working for the GDF. I know. By the way, isn't it interesting how we have two characters in Ishii who are like, one works for the GDF, another one previously worked for the ISA. It's like, geez, they're both working for government organizations that deal with aliens.
That's true.
And both of them are sus.
Yes.
And they have the same haircut.
Conspiracy.
But yeah, no. Like, if there was ever an opportunity to do a crossover between Sentai and Ultraman, you got to do Boom Boomger versus Ultraman Arc. It's a perfect opportunity, especially since coming up, we're getting a Tokuger crossover because imagination.
I would love it if they did a crossover between Sentai and Ultraman.
Yeah, because they've done one for Kamen Rider and Ultraman. We don't talk about it, but it exists. Because we have a human-sized Ultraman and a giant Kamen Rider, and it's not Jay. Either way, Shinzo Sasagio. But yeah, so it's like, oh, it might be a translation error. Wait, do you think it has a nervous system? Like it's some kind of mecha? It certainly looks like a mecha. So the next day, Yuma just starts climbing it, and we have this whole 24 scene where it's like, I'm climbing, he's climbing. You are Givas. And there's 2 hours left on the clock before the Air Force shows up. And sadly, the Air Force is not from Uao.
No, it's not from Ranger. Ole!
No. Ole. Yeah, because it would have been appropriate. Ancient civilization.
Yep. Hey, I met Ored last month.
Yeah. And he and I, and even though I never met him in person, we did exchange nods like a baton pass. We were like simultaneously, it's like, and I turn around like, did we just have a moment? Oh my God, I think we just had a moment. Mike, don't stop moving forward. Don't ruin the moment. Just keep walking. Have your existential Bruce Banner moment. There you go. Keep walking. Okay. Now where's the next person you're supposed to interview? Okay. Ure. Much like how Sakura Haruno had an inner Sakura, I always have an inner Kabuto. Except mine is not like an angry, hyperbolic nut job. Or is he? Maybe I have 4 of them. Or 7. I do like Yu Yu Hakusho. What do you guys think? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're all in agreement. Yeah, it's pretty badass. So we have a 24 moment, and when Yuma finally gets to the top and opens the cockpit, turns out the pilot has already died.
And it basically looks like a how do I word this? Basically, what it looked like to me is a decomposing suit.
Yeah. Yeah, like he even like disintegrated like an Orphanok victim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it's kind of interesting because it's kind of like because between Givas being semi-autonomous and the pilot being a separate organism, it kind of reminds me of Transformers Headmasters, where like like you have like a smaller transformer who turns into the head, and then they combine with an actual transformer who already had their own head.
Yeah.
Hey, it's still cooler than Target Masters or Pretenders. Man, I still can't understand Pretenders. No, Pretender Transformers. The power of Pretender Transformers. And neither of the two commercials elaborate what Pretenders actually are.
No, they do not.
And to the best of my knowledge, you don't even see them in the TV show. Not even in the Japanese exclusive 5th season. Or Beast Wars. Or Beast Wars 2. Or Beast Wars Neo. No mention of Pretenders. The closest we got is, oh look, Rodimus, RC, Ultra Magnus, and Springer accidentally turned into humans for one episode. But the Decepticons don't, so how much do Pretenders even weigh into this? But I digress, because it's like, so like the giant robot's like in the actually no, the corpse of the pilot sends a message to Yuma through a headset. Don't trust headsets, because last time I saw people put on headsets, they are trapped in an unwinnable MMORPG where like dying in the game causes you to die in real life. And then someone witty turned it into a much better series instead of a parody. But yeah, it's like I came from a planet that orbited a moon, but that moon was destroyed. So much like Superman or Kar-Zor-El, I ventured inside this living mecha in order to find a new place to live. But in my travels, I find out my original planet was destroyed. That was kind of obvious. And then I ended up on this planet, but I know that I am dying. But I don't want Givas to know that I'm dying because I don't want him to be sad and lonely. I'm like, I feel like you could have handled it a little bit differently. Because now Givas is like rampaging. It's like, you are not master. You are not master. You are not master. And then they find out a new translation. Wait a minute. We figured something out. Turns out the word Givas can mean enemy, but it can also mean friend, depending on the phases of the orbital moon. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, I understand conjugations. I totally understand conjugations. I understand irregular words, verbs, adjectives, you name it. I understand homophones. I understand homonyms. I understand synonyms. But you can't tell me that the definition of a word can change a complete 180 based on lunar positioning, because that is incredibly dumb. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on the episode. I'm just saying this particular language is incredibly dumb. Because when you think about it, because like during the day, he's like, It's like, Givas, I am your Givas. Givas, I am your Givas. But it's daylight, so he's like, enemy, I am your enemy. Enemy, I am your enemy. And of course, it's like, yeah, no. Now the narwhal's back. They fight each other off. Arc he turns into Arc to protect the narwhal for some reason. And oh my god, he gets brutally stabbed from behind by Givas. Like,
that he does.
Damn. And you thought that giant spike going through Blazar was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, he demorphs, and it's about to use a giant blade on tiny Yuma. It's like, I'm your Givas! I'm your Givas! And then out of nowhere, the moon shows up. And it's like, I'm your Givas! Look at the moon up there. Look at the moon. Look at the moon. I'm your Givas. So it's like, does the giant robot know that the moon is there? Because you're taking a huge gamble on a lot of things.
That he is.
Like what were your thoughts on this fight sequence?
I thought it was a good fight sequence. It was interesting. I kind of feel like Gubila doesn't really need to be there. It's just sort of there. Or like you could have the whole episode be focused around the Givas, and that could work.
Yeah. Yeah, the giant narwhal felt completely pointless to the plot, but hey, it's there. It's adorable. But why is it even there?
No idea.
Okay. Yeah, so the giant robot flies away for seemingly no reason other than like, so like I was what's it called? So like the Air Force is still gonna show up, and for some reason, even though they said, they just deployed, you gotta get out of there faster, it'll be caught in crossfire. They sure took their sweet time.
That they did.
Yeah. It's like how long did this fight last? Because like it really did seem like he started climbing that thing at sunrise, and this whole battle ended at sunset. So it's like we're looking at least 12 hours. Depending on the season, it could be anywhere between 11 and a half hours or 13 and a half hours, depending on the seasons.
I think it's reference to Return of Ultraman, because they also had that to where the sun was setting and then it was nighttime by the time the battle was done, because it had both except it was Ultraman Jack versus both Gudon and Twin Tail.
Yeah. Thank goodness I have you here to be the Ultraman expert.
Anytime.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so basically he flies off, the Air Force members fly away, and then Yuma just says, what a beautiful moon tonight. And that's the end of the episode.
Yep, that's how it ends.
Yeah. Yep. So what are your thoughts on the episode?
It was an interesting episode. Givas has an interesting design. It had an interesting story to it, although the whole Givas can mean the context of it is different depending on the phases of the moon is weird. And Gubila is just kind of there. Like I said, you could have like had Gubila be cut out and nothing would have changed. Okay, next to nothing.
Next to nothing, yeah. No, I mean, it's an adorable kaiju, in my opinion. But again, like, what was even the point of it? Because like, here's some ways I could think of how it could have been better incorporated. One, Givas would show up in the previous episode and destroy a Gubulon completely.
Gubila
completely. just to show how powerful Gubula is, because to be fair, Arc was struggling to fight against it. Premise number 2. Gubula might have been friends with Givas, so you could have had a red ogre, blue ogre type of situation, or you could have had like, hey, like we're in this together, so we could have had like that snow fight with the insurance dude from Blazar. Could have, yeah. Or,
I suppose the point of him being there is to show the scene to where Givas protects those 2 children.
Yeah.
That's basically why he's there.
I get that, but beyond that, it's like, what would you even do with the kaiju? Like, Givas could have just as easily saved the 2 children and destroyed the kaiju.
Yeah.
And then have it be a non-issue for this episode. And again, it's like, we also don't really, like, follow through on, like, the whole, like, how the construction things involved, because there was something about construction going on in the previous episode, and there's like this inferred tie to Gubula because of the construction, but that was just completely dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or heck, maybe Gubula could have been involved in like making a new form for Arc, or vice versa. Maybe Givas could have been integral to making a new form to fight against Gubula, or both. Hey, maybe they can combine into a new form or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like we don't need both of these 2 things as much as we got both of them. I think we just needed one or the other, or just keep one of them to a much lesser extent that we actually got. At least those are my thoughts. So what score would you give this episode?
I give it a 9 out of 10. It was a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I agree. It's a 9. I wish it was a 10, but I feel like anything that could be changed in order to make this episode a 10 would involve changing a lot of things in episode 11. It's a decent conclusion, but I think, it'd be nice if there were like more permanent consequences to this episode.
Yeah.
Like take Blazer, for example. Like, he got that sword thing. That was a permanent consequence. Just spitballing there. Just some ideas. Or heck, even in Tiga in episode 28, which you could technically consider to be the mid-season finale, Daigo died and was brought back to life, and then he had to remember all the friends he made along the way. One Piece! And yeah, Yuma did have that flash of like his past friends, but it just did not feel as earned. It just did not feel as earned.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of episode 25 or 26 of Tiga, because episode 28 was a different episode.
Yeah, but episode 28 was the one where he was like remembering all his friends. So like that's why I got those wires.
Oh yeah. And then that kaiju hugged him, and then he basically used Chaos Blast on it.
Yeah. So if you want to make a good mid-season, like make a mid-season that involves having permanent consequences for the duration of the story. And again, the word consequence means the effect of what happened. Consequence doesn't necessarily mean a negative thing. It could be a positive thing. Again, with Blazar, the permanent consequence was he got the sword thing. That is a permanent consequence. The sword is a good thing, but it's still a consequence. It just feels like nothing consequential happened in this episode. That's what drops it to a 9 for me. Again, maybe if Blazar got a new form, or or if they established, hey, the GDF will now go harder on Skip or something. And I know they probably will in the next several episodes, but what I mean is establish that this episode so we have something to look forward to in the next episode.
Yeah.
And yes, we can also make the assumption that next episode will be an obligatory clip show episode. But yeah, let's hope it plays out better than it did in Blazar, aside from the comic relief involving Henri losing the data because she fell asleep. Well, yeah, okay, so let us know what you guys thought. Did you like the episode? Did you hate it? Let us know what you think. This language is incredibly dumb. Absolutely. Absolutely. Imagine having to avoid using a certain word just because you want to say it at the wrong time. And also, Yuma was gambling a lot on this, so I'm sorry, but I hate this language. I like the idea of a civilization using a moon as the center of a planet's orbit, but basing a language off of that, I'm not a fan of. By this point, I was low-key hoping for a new form this episode. Honestly, yeah. Or if Givas could be regularly piloted by a Skip member or by the bird dude. All valid ideas. Maybe Givas will come back around episode 20 when Ark's going to have to fight a kaiju that is too difficult. When Super's just not enough. Because when the going gets tough, the tough get guts. But when going gets really tough, the guts get Ultraman.
That they do.
It's all a hop, a jump, and a skip. All right, that's it. That's it for the comments, guys. We hope you enjoyed. If you did so, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. And be sure to share videos because it helps us out with the algorithm. We do Ultraman Arc on Mondays, Kamen Rider Gav on Wednesdays, Bakuaga Sentai Boom Boom on Thursdays, and Kamen Rider Gaim on Sundays. But this week we are moving Gavu to Tuesdays for professional reasons. So you guys are getting Gavu a day early. Hope you guys have a great time because this episode is going to get really crunchy. Yeah. And also be sure to check out our Power Morphicon interviews. We've done a lot of them. We're gonna, now that a certain executive producer is now no longer single on their tax returns, they now we can start focusing on uploading more episodes of our Morphicon interviews. And if also check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we've done various movies. We've done all the Shrek movies, the Naked Gun movies, all but one of the Crow movies, because we promised we will do the remake after it comes out, and it did. A bunch of movies from the 90s. We got both Speed movies, both Mask movies, all three Dumb and Dumber movies, and our thoughts on the sequel and prequel will surprise you. And the next movie we are doing at our leisure, it will be, yes, the remake of The Crow. I'm just going to say right now, I'm not looking forward to discussing this film for a lot of reasons. And if you want to follow our personal content, where can the people find you?
You can find me at youtube.com, Axel Ranger.
And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. With all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.